Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys some stuff. I'm actually going to open up a few older EX series items, and I'm going to show you why they're kind of unique. In fact, I'm going to set those here in the background. If you notice, I have a different background mainly so I can show a few extra things, hopefully with a little bit more space going out in front of me. The few purchases that I'm going to show you is, actually it's only like one. It's from the same guy. Actually I bought Krabbies and a couple of Golems. So for those of you who aren't aware, there's a 1999-2000 fossil set. I have two complete sets, or I thought I did. I was missing one of the Krabbies, so I went ahead and bought one of these offline. Mint, I think it was like 30-40 bucks. That was maybe 40 bucks. These were like 70 or 60. I can't even remember. But it was pretty cheap for what I needed. I knew that for the uncommon and common sets, I think I have 3 uncommon sets, and I had several of the common, but for some reason I was out of Krabby. So I've got 3 common sets now, and at least 4 uncommon sets. But these only come from the red logo fossil packs, and it's an interesting set. You guys can go check out DJ Gigabyte's video on it. He does a full job of explaining the set, and so I won't go into that too much. Next up, this right here was actually a gift from Pokey Super Surprise. I think we've seen this guy before. He just sent me a free Rayquaza EX. Really appreciate that. He had sent some stuff in to be graded. As for the charity event, I traded the Plasma Freeze box for a Boundaries Crossed box. And though they were pretty close in value, the reason I went with this one because it had better sales data. This one's in slightly better condition, and he threw in a Neo Revelation First Edition pack. So now these two are the next item up for trade. I think I've technically got 3 or 4 more trades, but I think I'm only going to be able to have one before the deadline, unless the deadline was moved back. Again, I was already technically disqualified from this, but I'm still just trying to participate along the normal parameters that I would have, other than the fact that I'm not trading for single cards, and that's why my items are probably of decent value, a little bit higher than what you could have gotten normally. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you so much to Sean. He's the one who facilitated that trade. And like I said, anytime I've been doing trades, whoever I've been trading with has been taking a little bit of a hit, and it's going to benefit some children in the end. Alright, so next up, let's get into what I was going to show you guys. So right here we have the EX Master Trainer deck. You got the one from Blaziken, and you have the one for Gardevoir. These originally, I believe, come out in the EX Battle Stadium, so it was like a kit, and these decks were producing it, and then eventually I think these come out like this on their own. And the reason they even matter is because they actually have variant cards inside of here that are pretty tough to find, or like you may not have ever noticed that they're different. They're really not that tough or that hard to find if you know that you can just go buy these decks. I've sold some of the cards out of this individual deck, which I only bought for like 30 or 40 bucks. Just the individual card for like $40 before, and there's all of the cards in here have a different type of variation to it. And the reason I actually brought this up, I'm doing this for a friend he's the biggest Pokemon English card collector that there is. I mean, he has every single variant that there is that I know of. I don't think he actually has these. He may just not know it. I mean, I'm not really sure. I was watching one of his videos. You guys really need to check him out. He's like on par with SM Pratt with that type of video, but on the English side, he has everything. Put it to you this way: this guy, David Person, he has the stuff that I still need to get. Like, it's just like he has English verse. He has, I'm pretty sure he has pre-release Raichu. He has a lot of these cards that you just don't ever see. And so when I saw he was doing a master set video on, I believe it was Dragon. I believe it was EX Dragon. And he didn't mention a few of the cards that you can get out of here, and they're so cheap. I'm actually going to be sending him a full set of these because there's cards from 3 sets, I think maybe 4 sets, that you can get in this kit that are variations to the ones that you find from within the set. And even when I was watching this video, I learned a few things about codes that I had no idea, what it was. So it was mutually beneficial, I hope. And David, if you're watching this, I do have sealed one of each of these that I plan to send you as well. Although you may already have the sealed decks, you just didn't know that the cards inside were a little bit different. So first off, we're going to start right here. We have a Blaziken holographic. This is the number 3, and some of you may be able to immediately tell, what's going on here. Let me pull this card out. So here's the Blaziken number 3 that was released in Ruby and Sapphire, and you can see right here this one's different. If you haven't figured it out, it actually doesn't have the e-reader code. It doesn't have the big E there or the big yellow border across the bottom. And then what's also different is, if you look at this one, it says 2003 in the dates, and this will say 2004. So it's a completely different year, different style. After, I believe there was Ruby and Sapphire, Sandstorm, and Dragon that had this E symbol down here in the bottom that kind of mimicked the end of the Nintendo, or in the end of the WotC series, where you had the e-reader, introduced an Expedition, then you had Aquapolis and Skyridge, and then they slowly phased it out in the EX series once Nintendo took over. And you can see actually all of the cards within this deck have that type of labeling. They're all 2004. See down here, and they don't have that E. And this is Sandstorm, so you can see it's another set. Let me see if I can pull this skitty out of a Sandstorm set. That was my phone. That's alright. Hopefully it doesn't go off. So you can see right there, and this one actually still has the dot code, which if you had the Pokemon e-reader, you could scan this skitty in, and because it has one barcode, it would give you the Pokédex entry for skitty. Back in WotC, I don't know if they had any in Ruby and Sapphire or not, where if you had 2 dot codes, I'm not seeing any. Well, before Nintendo took over in Skyridge, Aquapolis, and Expedition, if they had 2 dot codes, then you could scan that second code, and sometimes you would have a game or a little mini cartoon or something like that. Some of you may have seen my video where I show like how you can use this for kids. Some kids with autism like playing those little games and like finding the cards, and they can actually scan both sides on something. I believe it was like the Ho-Oh and the Rapidash, and you could scan them, and then you could play that little mini game, and it was pretty cool. But you can see right here you've got several skitties. I'll put that back in the set. Quilava, Potion, High Pressure System, Delcatty, Cyndaquil. And it's going to be the same, with all of these cards. I'll give you guys a full list so you can see it here. Now, these aren't the only 2 decks that this type of variance was exclusive to. I believe there were some theme decks that ran the energies. See, this is Hidden Legends right here, but I don't think there's any difference between this and the other one. I would have to look at my Hidden Legends set to make sure of that, but I'm pretty sure it was already phased out at that point. Let me see, Team Magma, Team Aqua. Yeah, there are some E's on the Team Magma, Team Aqua cards, so I would have to look and see if any of the ones, I don't know if they cross over or not. But there are some theme decks that have energies that date 2005. I believe there's one in Emerald. This is a much bigger concentration of cards. Trying not to damage it. I don't really have good fingernails, so we'll bring in the box cutter. And there's a couple of variations within this deck as well that we're going to go over a little bit more. So there's that Blaziken. Just looks nice, doesn't it? I might grade that. Well, no, these are going to him. Going to David. I'm going to make sure he has his own copies. You can see right there 2004. And so there's a bunch of energies. It looks like these all have the same code. There's the fire energy. We blaze through them. Celio's Network. You got Torchic. Switch from Fire Red, Leaf Green. You got Seeking. You got Seadra from Dragon. So that's one that he would add to his Dragon set. I know that there was a TV reporter. There's Numel or Numel, whatever. There should be a Combuskin in here. You got Horsey from Dragon. So there's several cards that made it from there. And what's cool about this Combuskin, it's actually different from the one in the set in another way. Then you also have this Blaziken, which is a non-holo theme deck variant. So you've got both of these that need to be added to a master set. But I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here with this combustion. I know this is a lot of really niche, whatever you want to call it, kind of stuff. But for those of you who do collect master sets, and you've never heard of this, you might appreciate this kind of stuff. So it does have the normal variation where you've got the E here, and then 2003, 2004. But on the theme deck version, or the master trainer deck version, it actually had a mistake. It says stage 2 instead of stage 1. So it's actually, you know, an error on top of the fact that it's got this stuff. But it was a complete master trainer deck print issue. So it's not like, you know, the Shadowless Ninetales with no damage, 80 damage on it, where you could get it in either version and one's more rare than the other. If you buy a Blaziken deck, as far as I know, you're always going to get this error variant of combustion. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what's in here. This way, if you're trying to construct a set list or something, you can do that. Like I said, this is the biggest concentration of these no E cards, but like I said, there are some other releases, and I believe it's mostly energies that come from theme decks from other sets. I believe there's maybe a grass energy. There's a grass, maybe a psychic energy that's dated 2005 instead of 2004. Alright, so we'll start with these little packs. If we run into any Team Magma, Team Aqua cards, I will pull those out real quickly and we'll look at my sets and see if there's any difference. If I had thought to bring Hidden Legends, I would check to make sure that the dates or anything wasn't different. But I think by 2004, everything was corrected. So you got Xatu, Natu, that's all Sandstorm, Dunsparce, more Sandstorm, more Sandstorm. So that's a lot of Sandstorm variants. Is that one split? I thought it was. And you see that? This one's actually sealed up a completely different way. That surprises me. Maybe these are from two different print runs. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Won't damage anything. This stuff is almost as bad as tape. Almost. Alright, so there's the Gardevoir. We'll just compare the Gardevoir too, since we did it with the Blaziken. Who knows, maybe somebody on here will notice something that I've never noticed before. So there's that. You guys can see there's no E on this one. 2004, 2003. Still got that beautiful hollow going on in the background. There's the fighting energies. We're gonna fight through those. Got the psychic energies. Got Wally's training. Again, this was one of the ones I believe I mentioned to David. You can see right there, it's from EX Dragon. And again, maybe he looked back and he actually saw that he has this stuff. It really wouldn't surprise me. He has so many cards. Like, I forget what I have sometimes. I can't even imagine with what he has. And then there we have the non-hollow variation of Gardevoir, just like with the Blaziken. So that's a variant theme deck exclusive. Oh man. We'll just pause it right there. Man, so that call, my wife sent me a link and I thought it was something that my brother had sent her. And it turns out that she had sent me a Facebook ad for medical coverage. And dude, I tell you, I've got about 1 million calls since that thing. Facebook ads, man, it should be illegal what they do. Facebook, man, they really troll hard on like what you search for. But we'll stop ranting about that. That's it. And this Espeon, a lot of people collect these and this Eevee because they just like getting every single variation of the evolutions, and this is one that a lot of people don't even know about. So you can get 4 of those Eevee here, and you get 2 of the Espeon. And the Espeon was actually the card I was telling you about that I'd sold for $40 before, just in raw mint condition because someone really wanted one. And I had one, but I didn't have a deck, and I'm like, I'll sell it to you, but it isn't going to be cheap. You could just go buy the deck, and he ended up buying the card. But anyways, I hope you guys learned a few things in this video. There's people always out there looking for every single variation of a card to complete their master set, and you know, we're always adding to it. I mean, we just figured out that Beedrill error with the dot in the defending just recently. We thought it was fake for a while there, but keep on the lookout. Again, if you guys saw something in these cards that I didn't see, point it out. You never know. It may have just been something that's been missed. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.